Well, hello. Here we are. I'm ready for this lovely demonstration that I'm going to do in a few minutes. It was great talking to, as I was waiting for my time, talking to lots of people from all over the world, and I was saying hello to all of them, and also want to thank to the. Hang on, I have to wear my reading glasses because otherwise I can't see anything now. To my Santa Clara Valley Watercolor Society for the invitation, for Susan, that without her invitation and support this couldn't go ahead, and obviously for my supportive and expert team, that happen to be, there are a couple of guys here, but just you don't see them behind the cameras, organizing all the technology, because when it comes to technology, I'm not that good. Really, phones here, lights, microphones for just a simple demo. Well, the demo that I'm going to do today is Paris. It happened to be that I was there obviously last year, and I done Paris in many different type of light, and I thought today maybe we do a rainy day, and I describe the whole thing as I'm doing the painting alone. I can see in the image where I can see myself. There are a couple of paintings here. Yeah, this is Japan, and this is another painting I done of Paris, and this is an interior, a cafe. Anyhow, look, everything started by obviously doing the drawing, and I'm using a 6B soft lead. When I look at the image. Beside the point that I know exactly what I want to say in the painting, my first observation is accommodating shapes. So it is almost like an L type of shape, the painting itself. So we have buildings here, buildings here, and then we have the street level around there. And we have also the other buildings of Paris here. So it is going to be something like this, and then come down here and up again. So you have to realize this is just simply accommodating shapes. That in all the spaces. This is a positive space, this is the negative space. So then from that on, I have to organize the focal point. Obviously the focal point is going to be around here. Obviously to me, you need to know, or you don't supposed to know where my focal point is going to be. Could be here, could be there, could be anywhere, but it's going to be here. So then on the left hand side of the buildings, I start accommodating all the perspective. You go like this, like this, like this, like this. I will fill it up with all these with balconies and windows, and maybe a balcony coming out of the shape here, as I'm seeing in the photo of Paris. So this is moving. And then we have all these lines. So on the focal point, we have some people, obviously with umbrellas because it's raining. So this is the biggest umbrella here with a guy under the umbrella, or a lady. We'll put another people there, figure. Two different sizes. We need to put another similar size next to her here, and maybe one guy walking the opposite direction. He's wearing maybe a beanie, like I'm wearing myself all the time. See, something like this. And he has a bag here, and he's walking very fast. Very fast. It's raining, okay? So, well, there's one thing already. You see, from there, from this guy, could be a lady, doesn't matter. And all the way that sequence of figures are going, it has a bit of a symmetrical shape, because we go from big shape to medium and small one. So we need to break that symmetry. And we can put that guy out of focus, because I want to make him the dominating figure, or the most prominent one. See, coming out of the corner. Obviously, there's a set of traffic light here and another one there. My drawing, as you can see, it's not perfect. It's very imperfect, and mainly it's just to get the shapes. Where I mean, I'm very confident coming then later on with my brushwork and creating the image that I want to create. So what happened is, with my drawing, what it's supposed to do is leave marks on the paper where the action is going to be and the things are going to be. I mean, you can name them figures in this case, or shapes. So I don't need to be too elaborate so much, because I do plenty of things. I do them with my brushwork, as I show you in a few minutes. So these are the buildings of Paris, and following, you know, the drawing that I did before. Remember this one that you probably thought that was a little bit too casual? Now I becoming a little bit more precise. Now we have, you know, we don't need to be too literal, chimneys and things like this, and then we have another building, maybe something like that here, and then another tower, and one more building, something like this. Okay. Then we have 2, 3, 4. Another figure here, but this is an umbrella here. This is going to be a white umbrella. This one another color. Put another figure behind them, because all these people wearing the set of traffic light. Okay, this is medium size. Okay. Then we need to put some cars. We have a car here. If this is the high standing up, the roof of the car is here. It's going that way. So this is the back of the car. We maybe put another car. We put a big car here, you know, a delivering truck. Why is it so? Because not only that it happens on the photo, but also give me the chance to portray figures against a very pale wash. You see what I mean? Which is created by the back of this track. So then we have another car. There are little cars, as you can see in the picture, all just parked on that side of Paris. This is near the Louvre, actually. So we have this corner that's going to be the focal point, and then we're arriving to the other end. And I want your eyes to wander around the paper to rest and sit here as the focal point supposed to be. So what happened is, in order to balance this mess here, we need to put another guy here. Another guy, and he's eye level, okay? Eye level, walking towards that direction. You see? This is his umbrella, and he's walking that direction. And then cars, maybe we can put another figure here, or motorbike, scooter, whatever, because we need to join them. Everything has to be joined. Maybe this car a little bigger, okay? There you are. I can see in the photo this is a pedestrian crossing, so we can do it. We need to, when we do the pedestrian crossing, we need to also follow the perspective. And I think playing by ear is going to be something like this. Okay, so this is the pedestrian crossing. On the other side, we have the footpath here. We have a fence with the river sign. It goes like this. Okay. I found this building coming too much into the painting, so I'm gonna make it narrower. I'm gonna make it here. Okay, so I need to erase this for me. So here you are. This is the profile of the buildings in Paris. There is a tower. Sorry guys, there is a tower. I just forgot. It's here. And that is an indispensable shape too, because it's pretty and it's Paris. So it goes like this, and then it goes a little wider. And it has some holes. You think that Paris is a big mess, and especially doing all this drawing with a 6B lead. So you're probably wondering what happened with the marks that I leave on the paper. I don't care, because when I come to washes, when we wear the paper and then we come to washes, all these kind of disappear, and it's part of the making of the painting anyway. So that doesn't bother me at all. So this is the guy with a big umbrella walking that direction. These are cars. This is the hustle and bustle of the corner. You know, even though it's raining every day. I mean, everyone is minding their own business and the activity is on. Obviously, we are making a painting that is not reflecting the COVID-19. You know, because this is before COVID-19. Okay, so well, and now we need the lights of Paris. The signs. There's a sign here. You know, there's a sign, and then this. Okay, can you see that hole? It's good to put a lamp, the public lighting. So it's like this, like this, like this. Two globes, too big, and then it goes. It's a pity I didn't realize, but right on top of him, it's not a good idea. It should be better here then. Okay, I tell you what, I get rid of this. Get rid of this. Reason, it is right on top of him, so it's not a good idea. So we put the lamp taller. One is here, the one is there. The public lighting of Paris, and it comes here, just behind. Then we follow the perspective. There's another one here, another one there, another one here, and what else? Signs, maybe set of traffic light here, reflecting light. There's a car, and it's casting, obviously, it has some reflections on the wet road. That's it. So there you are. Conclusions. You know, when I come to do my painting, first of all I look at shapes. I establish the shapes to have harmony and being pleasant to the eye, as it happens here. You see what I mean? It's big, tall building here, then turn into an L type of shape. And I think that I always think is what sort of colors I will be using for this painting, and I'm thinking I will be using ultramarine blue, I will be using sienna, I will be using a yellow ochre. There is an umbrella here. There's an umbrella that has a bit of a turquoise color, so I use that one. But just a hint for this umbrella, let's say. Cayenne yellow, and that's it. maybe sepia. Sepia is a blending of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, and sometimes, well, vaguely. And sometimes, instead of blending both that I mentioned to you before, I just go for sepia straight away. So I wet the paper a little bit, and then we proceed with the painting.
Talk about materials. Before you start.
You know, the materials I'm using. I mentioned the colors. That I'm going to use. As far as the materials I'm using, this is Arches paper, 300 grams, rough. The pencil is a 6B, soft lead mechanical pencil. It has a bit of a fat diameter, but that's good. It leaves lots of marks on the paper, of course, but actually before, when I come to washes and wetting the paper, they will, I promise, they will disappear. Or even if they remain on the paper, that doesn't matter because it's part of the building up of the painting. So rough, Arches, 300 grams. I mentioned the colors. All my colors are Daniel Smith. I'm using here, and I think that's all you need to know. My brushes, my set of brushes, the paper, the colors I mentioned to you, all the colors I'm gonna be using, and lavender. It sounds like I'm using a few colors, but actually I will break them up all the time, constantly. So I will be creating between themselves. So I will be creating a very no monochromatic painting, but cohesion of the color scheme of the painting will be paramount, and it will be established in the painting. You will see a set of hues being delivered on the paper that they remain in the most harmonious fashion. Okay, even though I mentioned quite a few. So my palette is a brass palette. Is white enamel painted, so never gets stained. And so what do? It's a rainy day. We start the painting, and here we go. I use a little bit of yellow ochre before it's too late. This is a bit like drying off, you see, and then I spread the yellow ochre all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit dirty, but that's okay, because I didn't clean my palette. I rarely clean my palette. So this is, as I said to you before, plain wash of yellow ochre. Soon we need to obviously change the hue into a cool one. I use Alfresco gray. I didn't mention that color, but Alfresco is a blending of neutral tint, burnt sienna, and lavender, basically. Okay, and I have a warm touch of color there, so I maybe cool it down a little bit here. Okay, so we go yin and yang, a little bit of cool, so it won't be it. This is the building on the left hand side. So here we go with yellow ochre, the corner of this building in beautiful city of Paris. I picked by accident ultramarine blue. I didn't want that ultramarine blue to be there so early. You remember that there was a white umbrella, or a big umbrella. I'm gonna keep that umbrella in white. This lady here is gonna be a yellow ochre hat, and I don't know yet what color outfit she will be wearing. But anyhow, I go around the white umbrella because we need maximum impact. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put the first wash on the buildings at the back, and because I know that I'm going to come cool with the wash, coming up later on, I just use a light wash of burnt sienna, as you can see. As you can see, it's a wash of burnt sienna, and I go around like that, and I have to think about it now, because we need to let it dry. You know what I mean? So, okay, because I don't know, there was turquoise umbrella, I told you. You guys think that I'm going too colorful, but I promise you, and maybe you want me to go too colorful, but I don't think it will be a very colorful painting. I'm just playing around with color temperature, you see what I mean? But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna leave it like that, because it's too crude. So I put a little bit of, I respect the shape of a white umbrella here. I put a little bit of green turquoise here, and we need to keep on moving quickly. So I will tell you all the colors that I'm using anyhow, promise, when I finish the painting, okay? Because you may be thinking that I'm adding up, and it's true, oh, sorry about that, new hues, but I'll tell you what is the situation, okay? So you just follow what I'm saying and relax, and I mean, to know exactly what colors I'm using, it won't make you a great painter. You know, it's other things that will make you a great painter. You know, if all of you people watching me, you know, and if we all get together, you become the best in the world, and we get together, you all have a different palette. So don't be too fussy about exactly what colors I'm using, but even though I know you need to know, you like to know exactly what my colors are, so I will tell you, I'm going very cool now because I'm painting the road. But not because I'm saying to you, going cool means that I don't use a little bit of burnt sienna in it, and in the wash, I use a little bit of sienna, as I'm doing now. I hope the fidelity of the camera is so good that you can see, you know, the sienna washes. It's not entirely sienna, you see what I mean? It's sienna and a bit of maybe, I don't want to go too dark on the background because we want to create light. There you are. The only thing we need to compensate, because it's too cool here, it needs to be a little cooler, similar up there, but not too much pigment. So there you are. I kept some white for windshields of cars. You see them here. Do you remember there was a big tractor there? I'm still happy with the idea because I can put some figures against the delivering truck. As far as this side of the building, I'm using a little bit of this to make it darker before the paper dries off. Just a little bit darker there. And for a rainy day, we need maybe a cloud, a little cloud. So we do it not in this corner because we have this beautiful building, so we do it here. That's it. Now another thing, we need to make profit out of the wet paper, so I'm gonna keep on adding hues. As far as the cloud is concerned, I think it has the right value. You know, it has some hard edges there, softer edges over here, and if just in case in your screen it looks a little bit too strong value-wise for the wash underneath it, I promise you that value will decrease, and it hopefully will blend nicely without being too aggressive as it looks on the screen in the real painting. So I was saying to you that maybe we need to exploit the wetness of the paper instead of going for drying that off and then accelerate the process. I'm gonna put the brake lights for the car, maybe I can see my wash here is still wettish, so maybe I reflect that light there.
Do you know the brush is that? What brush number?
And obviously for all these sort of things you need a smaller brush, and this is a number 00, which is good for little details like this. Maybe I can put a little bit more here and there, since I have that color and I don't want to break the harmony, the zero traffic lights too. I may go back and this is a cadmium yellow orange hue. Now, as far as the clouds, you might be thinking I'm a little concerned, and maybe I am. The clouds on the sky, they look too strong in value. In the painting, please believe me, they don't. And also I'm anticipating the water evaporating will look paler. So I'm discussing here with you guys the fact that we need to marry two values a little closer and not so sharp, different. But just in case, I'm gonna drop a little bit of water on the sky. You can see the water spray, it has to be it's like a cloud. I'm not talking about that cloud, I'm talking about the spray, it's a cloud. The other thing is the cat or the yellow, it looks also on the screen because of light, because of it's basically because of the light bouncing on the painting and echoing the image into your computer or phone or whatever. They look too, because I have a reference here, it looks far too sharp. And in the real life, as I'm doing the painting myself, it is 1 or 2 steps lower in brightness. Anyhow, this is the first wash I just did. We need to dry it off, and I do that now. I don't know whether it would good to maybe respond a question if there's a question or something. I don't know. It's not easy to keep on developing my demo and then responding to questions. But this is also another thing that I like to add up to the fact that I'm going to dry the paper off is, if you're on your own and if you have plenty of time, you're better off, letting dry the paper by itself. Because now what I'm going to do by drying off with a hair dryer, I will burn it a little bit, especially in areas that are a bit sensitive. Like here, it's a bit too wet. There, it's also wet. But anyhow, for the sake of the demo, for you and I enjoying this demonstration and have fun and also accelerating the process, instead of waiting for half an hour until the paper dries off, I dry it. And the difference in the end result, it won't be that much. So I dry it off. The paper in a way is already dry, The only thing is I need to flatten the paper up. You see? Because when we come to the following washes, we don't want to paint on a undulated paper. So I'm just stretching the paper up. Okay. Well, the paper is dry. The only thing is now the pulp. This is 300 grams, rough. As I said to you before, ours is rough, 300 grams. The thing is, because I use the heater and I dry it off, the paper is still a bit hot, warm. We need to let it cool down. Okay. So now there is another situation that emerges in this a little bit. This first step I did is not difficult at all. It's just really is placing colors on the paper. Wet on wet, everywhere. Maybe I save some whites where I want your attention to go, focal point here, and maybe some of the windshields of the car. This one here, it didn't need to be safe, the white. Now I can see. I should put a color here, but it's too late now. Okay, so what do we do now? Well, we need to before we tackle the focal point, we need to paint the scenario. So we're gonna go from, I think I'm gonna paint this band of buildings, which is over the Seine, on the other side of the Seine in Paris. I do that when I finish these buildings and these washes, then I connect it to this one here immediately, okay? And so we work here with windows and a little bit of texture and lost and found. And so all this L shape, it will be done in this code. These buildings are gonna be cooler and receding. So it will be a good idea to work with lost and found. And here is gonna be sharper, closer, and more aggressive pigmentation. So I'm using now this spray. Yep, that's a good idea, because we want the lost and found. And then I get my favorite hues. I'm using a bit of lavender with the al fresco wash, but these two colors together, they are a bit too cool. But let's see how we go. First of all, let's put a stroke to test it out, and I think it's okay. And then we going to describe the buildings of Paris. Now with a little bit of, sometimes we need to get, instead of going for lavender, I get a little bit of sienna. See what I mean? A few little holes. We go now for lavender. We maybe need a little bit more of neutral tint, I think, and try to, using my biggest brush, which is a number 10, but I'm using, as you can see, I'm using just the point of the brush. These brushes are so good because they hold, as you can tell, lots of liquid, plus also because they are organic squirrel. they maintain the point. It doesn't matter. I'm not looking to make a perfect shape of that. I could, if I want to, and I'm pretending to create a handsome type of shape, but I'm not. Obviously, because you see me working, I'm not that fussy. I need to get a little bit of pigment off. So I'm using a bit of tissue here, and I should make it some more holes on this building. So we get holes. You know what I mean by holes? You know that we can see through, and also holes within the buildings, so we can capture some highlights. I think I'm going a little too dry, and we need to follow shapes. A couple of things we need to do here. First of all, I think it's a little bit too sharp, too many hard edges. So I'm using the spray with the intention of making it blurrier, a little blurry. Okay. Now these are a little too strong. Good. Now we go down below on the same wash. I'm using a little bit of burnt sienna with the blues, and then because we need to create depth, and also we need do you remember that I said to you there was a turquoise umbrella? Let's do it now. It's here. The delivering truck keep on being there, and then we just go like this, and then point to the brush. This is, as I said to you before, ladies and gentlemen, this is squirrel, so that's why I'm able to do this, keep the points remain flexible, and it's a pure joy using it. Now we need to finish this. We go like that. That building here is everything is one value, and almost one value, and almost one color. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it bluer. Now this thing I'm doing is not that easy because it's timing. You guys, you have to realize that this has to be dropped at the right time, because otherwise you create a cauliflower or a balloon. You see, we need to darken that up, and we need to also, I'm gonna darken this up, so we vary that value to that, and also we're making this one a little heavier as well. I hope you understand what I'm saying, what I'm doing, but as we all know, a graphic explanation worth more than 1,000 words, and that's what they say. And also, no problem with my English, or you understand in English, because actually what I'm doing is happening right in front of your very eyes. And so you can take conclusions and obviously understanding everything that I'm doing here. So it's not perfect, the wash, because being so many people out there, you may be very nervous. And there was a guy here which I forgot his umbrella. Remember the one crossing? And I'm gonna do it now. I like to finish with dry brush strokes. And this. And I tell you what, I'm gonna use a little bit more spray. And the wash. Now, as far as the umbrella, I'm missing. Do you remember there was a guy here walking that direction? I'm gonna do it now. I'm using neutral tint, and we put the umbrella dark. big umbrella. We leave it like that. We leave it like that. And now we need to work on the buildings here on the left hand side. I hope I'm not making a painting that will look a disaster. You know, that you guys will enjoy it. Remember the building on the right hand side, well, we'll go like this. You know, because texture, I'm looking for a little bit of texture here. And we get a smaller brush, which is my 00. And so this is my number 10. I'm jumping to one of my smallest brush. Instead of keep on blending burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, I just go straight to sepia, okay? Hope you allow me to do this. And we paint the profile of the building with the sepia wash. And as you can see, I paint nothing. That is not good. But the hand went along, it just did it for me. And we put a couple of little strokes like this. And then they're supposed to be balconies and things, but I'm not too graphic. And then I start putting some windows. We need to put another part of the architecture feature. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think I need a little bit more sienna on top of the leftovers here. I need to put a couple of strokes like this. It's getting a little bit what? A little bit cool, too cool, so I don't like it. So that's why I use a little bit of burnt sienna. You have to realize that I'm not looking for a photogenic painting, and it's not in any way, just in case you're thinking, I open an umbrella, not because of the rain day, but just to cover myself up. No, yeah, truly, I don't want a painting that is too literal, too obvious, you know. So I'm totally thinking abstract here. I hope you understand what I'm trying to. That is a UFO. UFO just suddenly appears on the horizon in Paris, and I'm just, what can I say? You know, I need to fix it. But here we go with more windows, and there's another window there. Windows. There was supposed to be a traffic light here. We need just go dry brush strokes. As you can tell, I'm totally using dry technique. This is I need a smaller brush, which I'm using a needle. I hope you're not thinking this is a big mess, because I promise you I will turn it. I'll show you how to get rid of that wrong dark spot I just did. You know, put a little bit of water, hold clean tissue. All right, so now this is my needle brush, and it's a good brush because it holds lots of liquid and goes into a point, and then when I come to, let's say, I'm now try to decorate a little bit more or better the building. So I remember there were some lines like this, you know, and then there was another one like that. More. Then I get my 00 brush. I don't like those lines. And then what else? We need to make signs, more more water. One side. That traffic light. No, it has to be. Then we put a little window here. And then here, you're thinking I'm making a disaster. Huh? I'm making a terrific painting. You wait and see. Don't forget it's a rainy day. We need to use a bit of spray here for blending. Then we come to the figures. And here we go. We need to paint some figures. And the guy in white, so we go. Forget about the lady with the hat. We put umbrellas. This is one person. He's in the foreground. Then we have little ones there. Another one here. With an umbrella too as well. And then you're thinking I'm making a disaster, huh? From your other end, wherever you are in the world, you're thinking, I wouldn't like to be in his shoes. I was making a disaster, but I'm not. I promise I will not make a disaster. I put a little bit of yellow on his face, a little bit of yellow on that face. Let's use a bit of sienna shirt. That guy, the guy with the white umbrella. And then we use a blue. He's wearing an ultramarine blue suit, blazer. Okay, this is an ultramarine blue blazer. So he's wearing here. You may be thinking, I'm always saying you maybe, eh? Obviously because we are not together, but I don't know why I always pretend or assume what you're thinking. But anyhow, what I was saying is that I'm using so many dark outfits in people in this corner, and yes, I'm doing that. And then I get rid of the water. Maybe the umbrella is too big for him, so what we do is we make him bigger. Okay, we make him a little bigger, and here's his legs, and we need to connect everything. So obviously his head is going to be a little bigger now. I don't know how long I've been painting for now. Let's make him a little bigger and blurry that. Now his white umbrella, we need to provide him with a shape. Yeah, so it's going here and there, and then we carry on with the darks. I feel dark today. Feel like painting with darks. These are things here. Here was another umbrella, and this is another person with, let's say she is wearing this turquoise umbrella. But I don't like this gap. Don't like cutting off the gap. You see, I erase it. No, I like it all together. If you say to me, why is it so? I don't know. I didn't like it. So I prefer to make it like this. And then maybe a skirt. She's going the other direction, okay? And she has high shoes, and there's a little bag here. And what do we do with this white down below? We need to connect it to her. And there you are. And here we go for it's a busy corner, okay? And this is the track that I was saying to you before. So what is the point? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but the separation between them is in the same kind of the same type of split. So we need to sacrifice these two. There's another person here. There's another person. Maybe now we got 3. Well, listen, you have to realize it's done in one go. This is the situation of watercolor. Sometimes we need to accommodate according to how things develop and evolve. And so I prefer this sort of separation, and we put a little bit of the inside of the umbrella. That is the inside of the umbrella. And he has a bag. Here's the bag. Now we carry on and put some other cars and things. The streets. We'll put another car here. And we do the same thing. And this is a quick demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. I cannot tilt the paper, as you can tell. It has to be, because it will look better if I tilt it and I can let washes run. You see what I mean? But with the purpose of having a clear picture, I cannot move the position of the paper, and so that complicates a little bit, but doesn't matter. We are here to have fun. I hope you comprehend what I'm trying to say. And what else? This white is too white. I knew it. You remember early on when I said to you I shouldn't save that white? Having the white of this car alone here, the windshield, is enough. And even I killed that one there, and even that one there, we killed a little bit. Okay, now if that was a car doing some delivering, we need to put some tires. I say a car because I remember clearly, obviously I was in that corner in Paris, and I remember it was a delivering truck. So, okay, well, we need reflections because I want to convey you that it's a rainy day. Sorry about that. Okay, and what we can do with this, I tell you what we can do. Let's put some dry brush strokes here. And okay, so what do we do now? What do we do now? We need to make the lights of the cars stand out a little bit more, and that's what I'm doing, and maybe a few more here. And as I know I'm coming with reflections in a minute, but it's too early. I'm going to deal with this area. Over this is the Seine River, okay? So there's a water fence here. And I do that now using my alfresco and sepia colors. And we go like, we pick up the darks from these guys and we just look like this. It's too dark, but we compensate it now with these strokes up above, ladies and gentlemen. There you are. It's very, this guy is very enigmatic lady, you know, because we don't, she's just, it's a fraction too big for being in the foreground, but we cannot fix it. We just leave it like that. Then, you have to realize that never done it before. It's a painting done in front of your very eyes, and even though I'm not seeing you, but I'm aware of your presence. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure that my painting will look good. So you make me nervous a little bit, but I think I'm sorting out these difficulties. You know, we need to. I tell you what we need to do with her. Definitely, it's a lady. We pick up a little bit of pigment. The sauce is getting too wet, and I don't want that. I'm going to now. We need to put some faces. We are cruising along. There's a face here. I'm using just straight yellow ochre. That's all I'm doing. Okay, a face, hand. Another face here, the gentleman with the hand here. Look, it's business as usual in Paris, not because it's raining, people has no action, so this corner is very active. Now, I'm not sure, because I'm planning the painting as I'm going along, about this hole here. We have a set of figures here, this one, I think the height is okay. The umbrella is pretty high up, but what I'm saying is I hope I'm not making this person too big. But her face is emerging a little bit from the umbrella there, let's say. What we need to do is create a bit of more depth. I wasn't sure whether in this hole to put another figure, but what the situation is, we have one and all these figures here, and if we put another one, we run the risk of making too many figures unless I modify this one and I put a dark, no. We can put a little single figure here just for fun. It might be that it's too many figures, okay? I think I'm gonna put a dark figure here, but before I do that, I'm gonna paint some reflections. And the demo is the demo. We need to make sure that it will look terrific. So, reflections. What we do is using I'm using my alfresco Daniel Smith. I need to join them. Hang on. What I do is get this hue and let's go like this. Okay, it's just a single stroke. Then and here there are more reflections like this. I use a bit of a spray because too many hard ones, too many figures and then we do another reflection here. Hard edges. We need to pretend to get rid of the hard edge. Here I'm using al fresco and a little bit of burnt sienna, and we put the reflections of this car. I want to paint them on dry, so that's why I'm not going for a wet wash. And we do the same thing with the other guy. Here, that's what I mean, this car. But we make sure we don't touch that wash. Well, listen, for a painting that I totally find myself willing to do it, but with no rehearsal, I think it's doing pretty well, What can we do with this color? More reflections. It has to be a little stronger. So since the paper is still wet, and here too as well, we need more pigment. We need the lights. So I get my rigger, and we need the sign. Remember, there was light here, for two gloves, and then we go like this. What happened is still wet. Yeah, what a pity. Just a second. I'm gonna give it a touch of hot air because I want hot edge. Forgot that it was still wet. I thought that was going to be dry. It's not a big issue. I mean, I could have let it be wet, but the thing is, it was expanding. I didn't like that. I'm going to echo those yellows. And maybe a little yellow here on the light. Now, I dry it off a little bit, so it's good. The brush itself has an exceeds of water, so I get rid of water. You know, I need less water, and I do what I did before. Now it's too dry. Traffic lights. There are more signs here. There are more signs. So these. I remember those as a red sign. Not this red. I'm gonna use this one. This is pale orange. And maybe put a sign here. On the lights, we need another sign. Yeah, I'm gonna use a bit of lavender. Okay, put another sign. A little bit on the lights. Then, for the darks columns of the public lighting, I use whatever, you know, whatever dark colors I find first. So there you are. And I don't like the just a vertical dead line, so I always put things nearby like this. This finish should be a little better. And then put another one here. I'll tell you what I do. Put a bit of white. I mean, no white, water. And water, and water. And go again. Hope you're not getting bored, but we are towards the very end of it. Some highlights. This is the color I'm using is Jaune Brilliant, number 1. Is from Holbein, and we do this. So just a single touch. Maybe a little bit on the head of that lady, and there's a big storm in Paris. I finished the truck, delivering truck a little better. These are the whites that I save for other cars. And even though it's a rainy day, these people, they have highlights on head and shoulders. using a little bit of more yellow ochre on here. This is watercolor, by the way. Is permanent. It's a blend of yellow ochre and Chinese white. Something yellow here. And the traffic light. This is a lady, she's a lady, this one is walking that way and she's wearing a very, very white head cover, okay? Well, listen, it is just a quick demo. Never done this painting before, but I think it's illustrate the way I do paint. I'm not the type of artist that get bogged down in superficialities or illustrate. What I'm saying again, what I'm using here is watercolor. Eh? It's not wash, it's just a blend of yellow ochre and Chinese white, or titanium white for that matter. It's just for looking for highlights when you lost them. And well, that's it. Look, what is it? Watercolor is. This is a demonstration. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, because I done it for the first time. I think it's great. It's great that I'm discussing with you things like too many people here. I cannot fix it unless I wash it out. I was going to put another figure here, but I thought that there are so many here. We can make this gun a little bigger, so we upset the symmetry a little bit. If it is understood like there is a guy here. Anyhow, watercolor is this. Watercolors are accidents. Watercolors are hard edges and soft edges. You see what I mean? This is a good example of a person, and I'm so sorry that I'm talking about oneself here, myself, but I do exploit what the medium is about. You know, this is what the medium is about. I'm not painting with watercolors. I'm painting a watercolor painting. You know, and I have hard edges, soft edges, the lost and found everywhere. The color scheme of the painting is quite integrated. You know, it has a strong focal point here. I'm glad that I left the umbrella white. Maybe a dry brushstroke. A dry brushstroke maybe is in need of that. I've been talking, and I don't know what you think, and I don't know what is. I mean, if we were on situ, all of us together, it probably would be far more, as far as me is concerned, you know, your comment, that forward and backward, that is needed in everything we do. But it's just like I'm talking on my own. Look, I have fun doing it. It's a good explanation. I'm sorry, my staff is talking to me. I cannot pay attention to. I cannot coordinate what I'm saying plus paying attention what my staff is saying. So what is it? What I was saying to you was that it's good that I kind of fix problems and mention them as I'm going along. You know, it has a very good thing for you guys, because that goes to shows you are not you're not on your own. When you do a painting, probably the same syndrome of thing that's happening to you is happening to me as well. So I think as far as being informative and talking to you and clarifying everything I did is I put my guts in it, okay? And I did it with one very important thing, integrity. You know, I really told you what I thought. There is no mimic. There is nothing that is pre-word and delivering to you in an artificial type of fashion. This is one first go, done it with integrity and in a very genuine way. And don't forget, watercolor, it is exploiting what the medium is about. Give me a feel of it, tell me some story in your painting, plus also you make sure that you exploit what the medium is supposed to be. That's what you're here for. You're here to exploit what the medium is about. And the medium, it is about the lost and found, it's about color scheme, it's about values, and it's about shapes. So anyhow, my team here that giving me they are my coach. They give me the you know, they tell me what to do with the painting to show it to you. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lift up the painting from the board and show it to you to that camera. No, it's like this and like this. Oh. Like that. For me, it looks far too colorful. On the screen, it looks artificial. Here, it has a much better color scheme. Anyhow, it was a pleasure. I don't know whether you have some question to ask. You know, it would be a pleasure for me to answer any doubt you may have. The darks were things that are maybe, as I'm waiting maybe for a question or two to be placed, you know, they have to be joined. I think if I was going to do this painting, I wouldn't display so many figures here. That is the only minor mistake, but the darks are all joined, especially here. Know that what I'm trying to say join is, no, there's no the darkest dark here, another dark there, another dark here. They kind of congregate together into one single area that then exploit the focal point, enhance it. The color scheme of the painting is cold, it has a feel of rain. You know what I mean? As far as me is concerned, I get that feeling. And remember, guys, you know, when I said to you, I was going to use a cool wash here, and hopefully you remember the first wash, it was a burnt sienna layout. And then I came with cools. on the off-white building here of Paris, I just use a coolish yellow ochre wash, and I marry that previous wash with mauve, a dark mauve color that it goes from very dark value into middle value into next to nothing, finishing up in a dry sort of encounter. Nothing here is supposed to be an illustration. This is as a painting is playing honor to what the medium is all about. Sorry if I say sentences like this, but what happens is, with the truth, I have no fear of offending. It's the truth. This is a watercolor painting. I take the tape off for you to have maybe a better look to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't hear any question, because it's impossible, I think I'm done. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I was talking to you all the time. You may be thinking, well, hang on, Alvaro, you mentioned certain colors before, then you didn't use. No. Listen, if you look at the picture, it has a very, very kind of homogenic and harmonious feel to it. When I said to you, so this is because of congregation of certain hues. They are all belong to the same family. So when I said to you neutral tint, or maybe I said to you al fresco gray from the Daniel Smith, basically it's the same, because when I use neutral tint, I use also burnt sienna and lavender, and al fresco is precisely that combination of colors. When I use sienna and neutral tint, or sepia neutral tint, is my caliente. Caliente, probably there are lots of people who speak Spanish, but also is a very famous, popular word of our language. It means hot. And so even though if I didn't use caliente gray, that is also made by Daniel Smith, but I use the component of the medium, So I said to you I was going to use a bit of ultramarine blue. It's very little contribution of ultramarine blue on its own when it shows into this sort of shape here. But because it has a wash underneath the burnt sienna, the two of them, they create a new hue, because we are talking about transparent watercolor here. Look, I'm very happy with the demo. Basically, there's nothing else I can say. Obviously, there are no any kind of comment from your side, because technology does not allow us so far to listening to you, maybe things you like to mention. So what else can I say? I did enjoy it a lot doing it, because for me this is a pleasurable thing, and I like to pass on what I know to all of you guys. I love you all. You are all out there, and you are willing to make it. You're willing to paint, and so I'm glad, and I'm so happy to give you a push, if I could, by doing this demonstration. I'd like to obviously to thank to my people here. There's a huge crowd behind me. There are maybe 20-30 guys, because I'm a very important person, you know what I mean, and they have to organize the whole situation. My wife, Ana Maria, she's working so hard for it, making sure that everything comes good and well delivered, and to Santa Clara Valley Watercolor Society, because thanks to them, it has been spread around the world, you know what I mean? So we should be very thankful to them, and to Susan in particular. And I will do a workshop next weekend, which are all over. It's all booked out, hundreds and hundreds of people. But if you wanna join me again, you follow me. You make sure you follow me through Instagram. So put your likes, go in, and from that on, once you're a member of my culture, let's say, then you will always find out what my moves are. You know what I mean? When I'm doing my demos, or when I'm doing a workshop, anything you want to know, even things you want to know about the medium. So join me in Instagram, and you will see what's going on. Okay. So well, thank you very much from my side. I say hasta la vista, au revoir, ci vediamo dopo, bon voyage, c'est vous, c'est moi. Spasibo to Russians, and thank you very much. So I was looking to the people, what other language you want to say? Chimawangi, Pashalaf. Say lots of, but I have to say thanks to many different languages, and also show you off people that I know so many languages. So thank you, au revoir. From my side, I finish. Ciao, ciao. Bye.